Hi, this is Michael Nelson. Thanks for joining me this evening for the webinar, Keys to Digital Marketing for Small Business. I get asked a lot what the best way is for a small business to market itself, what a mid-sized business can do to improve its marketing, and what my views are on what's successful, what's working, what's not working. And in this webinar, I'm going to take 20 or 30 minutes or so and walk through what my answer to that question is. And that is, in my mind, digital marketing, for a number of reasons, a lot of which will come out in this webinar, but primarily because digital marketing allows a small business to reach a very large audience, whether that business wants to do business globally or in its local area, and do so in a way that not only can compete and outperform a larger business in terms of being able to deliver value to its clients and in turn capture value in the form of customers and revenue to the business, but it can do so in a way that's far less expensive than any other option out there. So again, the webinar is on keys to digital marketing for small business. If you have any questions, you'll see my number on the screen here. You'll also see it on the bottom of every slide as we go through it. And I'll take some time at the end to tell you a little bit about some options that are open to you just for being on this webinar tonight, and you'll see my contact information there as well. So what do you say we jump in? So first of all, I think it's important that we talk about what's marketing, because this is another one of those terms that you ask any 5 people what marketing is and you'll get 5 different answers. So let's set up at least an answer that we'll use for this webinar. What is marketing? It's the interaction, and you notice I say interaction because the way that we're going to market and that I'm going to talk about marketing is a two-way street of communication. It's not just pushing information out there and then seeing a response. This is an interaction between your business, your marketplace, that's designed to bring prospects into your business, to sell them the offerings that you have that deliver value to them, to build your brand awareness so that people who may not be ready to buy today are aware of you and they're positioned to buy from you when their need is there. And then you also, with your current customers, create repeat customers and referring customers, which really help drive your business success. It should be measurable and predictable. When you do something with marketing, you should know roughly what results you can expect, and you should be able to measure them along the way. You shouldn't put $100 into a marketing effort and then 2 months later wonder if you got anything out. You should be able to say, we're going to run this type of campaign, it's going to cost X, and we think that within this particular time frame, we're going to get this return. And once you start measuring that and you start getting better and better at your campaigns, it's almost like printing money. You'll know that if you spend $1, you'll get $2 back. And you'll start to see the power of marketing and the value that marketing delivers, which is another point that a lot of small businesses have a hard time seeing, is tying their spend into results. It's really frustrating if you're just throwing money out there and you really don't know if it is responsible for any of your customers, or what it's doing, or if it's working, or even if it's alienating people. I mean, you need to know these things because it's a part of your business. And then lastly, if you just boil it down to a nutshell and you want an explanation of what's marketing, it's how you get business. So this is a real key element to a small business, and it's also an area that a lot of small business owners can find themselves really overwhelmed with. And so one of the things that I like about digital marketing and importing into your business, say a framework, and then customizing that framework for digital marketing, is it takes a lot of the stress, it takes a lot of the workload, and the wonder if it worksness out of marketing, and makes it a real powerful tool for your small business. So let's talk about ways to market. You have the old way, interruption marketing. And so this is a model that was really, it's been there for a long time. This is, your newspapers, your billboards, your flyers. But what really made interruption marketing take off was television. So for the past 50 years, we've had television driving marketing and setting up the paradigm, especially for big businesses, but then that creates the trickle-down effect of this is how small businesses think that marketing works and how it will work for them as well. And you see it, in the, you can get the inexpensive 30-minute infomercials that any business almost can put on the television. or the Super Bowl ads, given that it's around Super Bowl time right now, how expensive they are, because the thought process from television is the more eyeballs that see your ad, the more sales that will translate into. And so interruption marketing is simply getting your message out there to as many people in as many different ways as possible. But it's called interruption marketing because you're sort of thrusting it into their face. You're interrupting them. So on television, it becomes commercials. You know, you're watching your show and you notice that towards the end of the show, the commercial breaks get more frequent, especially in the United States. And that's because you've invested that amount of time. You want to see the end, and they know that you're more likely to stay for those ads, so they can charge more for them. That's a prime example of interruption marketing. Look at a movie theater. You go there, and at the beginning of the movie, which usually, if a movie is going to start at noon, it usually starts at 12:10, and they give you 10 minutes of ads, and you're a captive audience. They're interrupting what you're doing to give you their message. Billboards, you're trapped in your car, you're driving, and instead of seeing the landscape or the city or whatever, you're seeing some, ad for razor blades. It's interruption marketing. You're reading the newspaper. How much of the newspaper is ads? If you flip through it. One of my favorite magazines is Vanity Fair. I think they do a fantastic job on reporting economics, and a lot of interesting commentary as well in the magazine. But typically you get to page 40 or so before you actually get any content, because it's all ads. And you have to go through them to try and find it, and they'll intersperse little columns here and there. And that's interruption marketing. It's based on the premise that all that matters is getting you to see their ads. It doesn't matter in this model if it's something that you want to see, if the timing is good for you. It's all about just blasting it out there. Some interesting studies were done fairly informally by some of the people around the time that the internet was coming into its own as a marketing medium. And they looked at some people that were reading the Wall Street Journal. And this is just an article, so it's not empirical evidence or anything like that. But the gentleman that did this is Seth Godin. And he was sitting around, I think, a hotel lobby at some point, and a number of people had just read the Wall Street Journal. And so he walked over and asked them what ads were in there. And none of them could answer a single ad. And so then he went to some full-page ads, which in the Wall Street Journal, make up a good chunk of that paper. There's full-page ads. So already they're saying they didn't see them. The ads were invisible to them. So this interruption marketing was failing. And these ads cost, as much as a small house in some cities. And they're invisible. Then he took the ads themselves, showed them the ad, but covered up the marketing copy and said, okay, who's this ad for? And even then they couldn't tell. And then he showed the jingle, and unless it was a famous one already from television or something, they didn't know. So really, the newspaper has lost traction as a way to market. That's why a lot of newspapers have gone out of business, is because they're ad-supported newspapers. And if their ads aren't selling because people are ignoring them, then they can't stay in business. You look at the price of television commercials and where it's going. They're creeping down in relationship to where the economy is going, because there's so many other ways out there to market now. And it's just really become something that people start to resent. And, if you think about TiVo and digital video recorders and VCRs even, when they came out, but they're not as convenient. You look at the new electronic digital video recorders, and they give you the ability to skip ahead 30 seconds at a time. Well, isn't it interesting that your average commercial is 30 seconds long? So you hit a commercial in a show that you've taped, you hit 5 fast forwards, and you don't see a single commercial. So now no longer are you just taking bathroom breaks and snack breaks during commercials. You can actually record your show. Even if you're going to watch it that night, you can record it and watch it 20 minutes later and go through the whole show without seeing a single commercial. So people are getting away from interruption marketing. They're showing their desire to escape. The new model, inbound marketing. You'll hear different names applied to inbound marketing: relationship marketing, attraction marketing. There's plenty of others along with inbound marketing, but the gist of it is all based on the fact that instead of going out and foisting yourself onto people, you're establishing a presence in social media, in other places, having a website, and you're building a list where people say, yeah, I'd like to get some of that information. So it's not interrupting them. They can read it at their leisure. When they're ready for information, they go online and they look for that information. and they find it ideally from you because you've been providing that information, you've been providing value, you've been setting the stage all along to help people figure out solutions to their problems. And then when they're ready to buy a solution, when the pain point is there where they can no longer do it themselves, or they need something, or they need it done quicker, or whatever it might be, they go to the people who have an established, we'll put it in quotes, or established relationship with them. They've developed trust in you and the model that you provide, and they're ready to do business. And that's what digital marketing is about. Putting out incredible value, having people find you, having that process of interaction begin so that when they're ready to become somebody's client, that they're choosing you. So digital marketing, we've heard me talk about it a little bit, and just start highlighting a little bit. What's digital marketing? It's really just the way to implement inbound marketing using the internet. So we're using automation, we're tracking with analytics, we're using social media, email, different types of pages and content. And this isn't garbage content, this is content that's really valuable, that your clients want to read, that's interesting, whether it's your content or you're curating content and bringing it all into a place where it's great for your clients to come and find out about a particular topic. Whatever it is, all these things work together using the internet as a delivery mechanism to establish your digital marketing program. So let's look in a little bit deeper into digital marketing, what it is, how it works, and how you can put it to work for you. So really the purpose of digital marketing is to attract people to your business, to convert them into customers, and to be able to measure every step of the way. Now that doesn't mean that you're doing it via interruption marketing. You're using inbound marketing and you're delivering value, but this is the overall purpose. Remember, you're trying to get revenue for your business, and you're trying to do it in a way that's as easy as possible for you, because marketing is something that really gets overwhelming for a small business owner, especially if you're really engaged in delivering that value. If you're doing the work for your clients too, then manual marketing really becomes challenging. And if you can only market to your network and the people in your Rolodex or your contact list in Outlook, then you're limited to how much you can grow, and you're also limited into that group of people as repeat customers. And the danger then is, if the economy gets a little worse, and we're familiar with that situation now, if having been in it for a little while, or if your service is really a one-time service and then people don't need it again, then you quickly run out of customers, and that's a dangerous place to be. So we're looking at the purpose of digital marketing, and as I said, it's to attract, convert, and measure. It's not random, it's planned. We are going about this in a very structured way, using content and putting it in different places and making it easy to find for the appropriate people for you, engaging with them, making them want to engage with you, and then beginning to present the options that they have to become customers of yours, whether it's through deals or making them aware of a new offering or an offering they weren't aware of in the first place, whatever it might be, and then you're measuring it. And remember, a little bit ago I talked about, ideally you want to know that if you put $1 into your marketing system, that you get $2 back in revenue. That is important, because then you know if you want to grow, what it's going to cost you, what you can expect back, what sort of time frame you think it'll take, and then you can plan hiring, you can plan how much capability you might need to bring on, to answer the phones, to provide support, maybe it's new trucks to deliver your products or services, whatever it is, but it allows you to plan for your growth and do so in a structured manner. It guides the process. This is what we're thinking of as we're building a digital marketing system for you, is how does this system work to attract, convert, and measure for your particular business? Because you don't want a one-size-fits-all solution. You want your solution that works for your marketing and your clients. It creates opportunities for constant improvement. And so this goes back to the results. It's not random, it's planned, we're measuring it, and because we're measuring it and because we're watching it, we know what works, what doesn't work, and we can start to break it down even further and say, if this works, why does it work? If this doesn't work, why doesn't it work? And so the things that work can work even better, and maybe you can convert some of the things that didn't work by making simple changes, because the results can be really surprising when you test them, and you get better and better. So now maybe your $1, instead of giving you $2 back for your marketing, now maybe it generates 3, or maybe it only takes you half a dollar to generate the $2. Whichever way you want to look at it, your marketing becomes more effective, less expensive, whatever your metric is. So I've put together what I call a digital marketing ecosystem, because all of these different things that exist on the internet, whether it's social media, your 3 different types of sites, the automation, the measurement, email, etc., they're all online, they're all digital, but they all work together. They're not independent. The left hand knows what the right hand is doing in this case, and they're all working towards the same goal. And when a customer interacts with you, they may come across several different areas, and they're all recognizable. They're all the same. They're all supporting the same goals that you have as a business. They're all delivering the same valuable content. It doesn't look like you're schizophrenic and you have 5 different things running and none of them are informed by any of the others, but they're all working together. What's the key of it? The blog. The blog is the center of that digital marketing ecosystem. That's where your content goes. That's your home site. It's going to be the base of your authority page. So if you have a site and it's working well, then your blog can go onto that site. If you have a site and a blog, then that blog can be fine-tuned and implemented into the digital marketing ecosystem. And if you need something completely separate, that's possible too. So it works with what you have. It doesn't require you to undo anything that you've done. And it also can be something that started from scratch. But the blog is where you're starting to interact with your customers, to talk about your offerings, to talk about solutions to their problems, not about you. Although you let your personality shine out, you want to have a personality. You want your business to be recognizable. You don't want it to sound like they're buying from a robot, or they don't want to read something that sounds like it was copied from a dictionary. You know, this is humans interacting with humans, which a lot of people in business forget. People buy from humans. Whether it's a brand, you know, they're looking at some sort of human aspect of why do they relate to it. Even big businesses buying from other big businesses is really one person within something buying from another person in something. So it's that personal touch that really makes this work well too. I talked about the 3 different types of pages. These are the key. Your authority sites, your landing pages, your sales pages. And it could be that you have just one of each. Your authority site is where your blog's going to be. Your blog can be your authority site. It can be, your blog can be added to the authority site, whatever it might be, but that's where you're going to create your primary effort at drawing people to. This is what you want people to find. This is where you want to be the hub of your digital marketing ecosystem. It's where you want to send people here and there to get different types of value. A landing page is a page that has a simple message, and that message is an offer of something of value in exchange for information about the prospect. Some cases you just want to run a survey and they give them something, you know, a white paper or a coupon or something in return. In other cases you want them to sign up for your list, which lets you send them something every week, every other week, coupon, sales notice, but also, you know, maybe you're a plumber and you send them notices of, hey, it's time, it's winter time. This is how you turn your hose off. You want to make sure you drain or your water off. This is how you drain your hoses and prep yourself. So you're making yourself, you know, useful to your clients. Your landing page is getting that information. This is how you're building up a list and starting a real in-depth engagement with your prospects. Your sales page is simply that. It's creating an offer on a page and being able to direct people there and make it easy for them to find. There's email marketing. I covered it a little bit in the list, but this is something that's really important to do right. There's spam laws. There's the fact that if your email marketing is annoying, people will unsubscribe from your list, and you'll lose, you know, all the people that you've made all the hard effort and work to get to your list. They'll leave. But it's on the positive side, it's an opportunity to create engagement with your prospects, with your clients, to help them become clients or repeat clients or referral clients. It's how you're staying in touch, and it's another way that your personality comes through. And this is done with a lot of automation, but the automation is in terms of the delivery, the behind the scenes mechanics. It doesn't create the message, and you don't ever rely on automation to do any of your messaging in terms of content creation. It's all stuff that you have the work put in, and then you use automation to help distribute it and get the word out there. And that saves you a ton of time and makes your reach much larger and broader. Social media is a huge part of the digital media ecosystem, or digital marketing ecosystem, excuse me. And this is because this is where people are in a way that you can interact with them and that you can reach them and engage with them in a way that search engines can't control. So search engine optimization is just how you put things on your site and use keywords on your site and link to your site from social media, etc., so that when someone searches on Google or Bing or Yahoo or any other search engine, that you rank high in the areas that are important for you to rank in. The challenge with search engine optimization is because Google, which is the 99-pound gorilla in the room, owns about 85%, and that always changes, of all searches. You have to pay attention to their rules. And they've changed their rules roughly every 4 weeks for the last 2 years, which means if you try and focus on search engine optimization as the way to get people to find you as your marketing driver, then you're always chasing your tail. You're always going to be behind them. And furthermore, the people who exist just to put links up to other sites so that you buy stuff, that's called affiliate marketing. Their focus in life is monitoring those rules and changing those rules and bypassing those rules and trying to rank. So you'll be competing with people whose only purpose in life is to have their pages rank. That's why if you go and you look up, some new fat pill comes out on the market, let's say, and promises you wonderful weight loss results. If you go and look up, new weight loss pill, we'll call it, new weight loss pill review, you'll find that those sites are all affiliate sites. They're not actually reviews. They're people trying to sell you stuff and trick you. And so that's a game you really don't want to play and you don't want to get into. Social media, on the other hand, to get back to this, is a place where you can go engage with people one-on-one or one-to-many in a way that they are interested in engaging and you're providing value, and that's seen at face value, and no one controls that interaction except you and the person you're interacting with. So social media is a fantastic way to run inbound marketing, to help inbound marketing, because you can put a message out there, you can put a lot of value out there, which helps bring people to your blog or your landing pages or onto your email marketing list. And it can be very targeted so that the right type of people are finding you. It's not like putting an ad in a newspaper and anyone that reads that newspaper has a chance to see your ad. In social media, you can set up ads, which are really inexpensive, or you can set up, you can categorize your information in such a way that the right people find you, so that you're not trying to sell to 1 million people, but rather you're trying to present your message to 5,000 people who really find value in what you do. So social media is a real powerful tool if it's integrated in with everything else. And that's something that a lot of small businesses have a challenge with, and that's something that we build right in to the digital marketing ecosystem. Measurement. I say it again and again and again. We measure everything, whether it's engagement, how much revenue is coming in, how many new people are following you, how many people are on your list, what worked, what didn't work, testing different things against each other. We want to make sure that marketing, just like any other process that your business does, is run as efficiently and as effectively as possible, meaning it takes the least amount of work to produce the most amount of results in the least amount of time with the least money expended. Automation. The digital marketing ecosystem does not work without automation. Not unless it's something that you're ready to spend 8 hours a day doing and you don't have any work to do. Then you can probably do it yourself. But if you use automation, you can do far more in 1 hour and have a far greater reach in that hour than you could in 16 hours of manual work. It is a huge multiplier in terms of getting your message out to the right people in huge numbers in a way that let you start interacting and building a relationship and moving people down the pipeline from becoming strangers to prospects to customers to repeat customers to referral customers. Automation is the key. And there's a lot of ways to set this up and integrate automation in that can really be offensive. And so one of the keys to successful implementation of a digital marketing ecosystem is to make sure that the automation is used as I talked about it before. It's a distribution and time saver. It's not creating the content. It's not blasting stuff out there. You know, you're not a plumber sending plumbing coupons to television repair customers or something. It's on target and done right, and that's really critical. And then there's a matter of having a process flow and a calendar. The process flow works with the automation, and it lets you sit down in 30 minutes, in an hour a day, whatever it might be, to get your marketing done based on how much you're trying to get in at that time. It's important that you do it in the right order. It's important that you have something laid out that says, okay, I write a blog post, then I distribute it to social media this way. Then I go over and I create a couple links to a couple different sites that I'll tell you about that we use in our system. But that flow is laid out, and a calendar is laid out, because you don't want your blogging random. You want to blog on certain days, you want to blog a certain amount, and you want to make sure that that blogging, and when a blog is an article, if you're not familiar, it's just a way of digitally distributing an article. So they're short one-page articles, and anyway, you want a calendar to set that up so that you're doing things on a regular basis that are important for the marketing program. In addition, there's a number of options you can do beyond just the base things. The video is huge. YouTube has become, depending on who you listen to, either the biggest or one of the top 3 biggest search engines, because people go on there and look for videos. Whether it's, you know, the kids looking for America's funniest videos, or video game cheats, or adults looking for some comic relief, or more and more people go on and look for product reviews. People go on and look for information on digital marketing. What is this stuff? And they go and look up things. So video marketing can be a great way to integrate in. And the other nice thing about video marketing is, if you have a blog and you have pictures on the blog, then adding video is one more way for people to interact with you or to consume information that you put out in a different format. You might have people that like to watch a video. They really don't want to read a page and read several articles. Or maybe they want to do both in conjunction, or maybe they like to listen to the video while they read the article. It makes your site more engaging, and it lets you be found more and interact between your sites more to have them all found. Podcasts are another way. Podcasts are like just audio. And so, for instance, you can find them on iTunes. But you can also create a podcast just by recording voice, and you can even make them from videos. And you can put them on iTunes if you want. You can put them on your website if you want. And once again, it's another way for people to interact with you. So if someone has a commute, they can download some of your podcasts or some of your audio recordings and listen to them in the car. It's another way for you to be found in a way that's convenient for the people who are looking for you. Social CRM is a huge piece for people that really want to have their marketing be effective. And this takes all of the contact information you have about all of the folks that you've interacted with, whether it's on your email list, whether they're people from your own personal email, from different social media areas, people that have just given you business cards, etc. You can put them all into a social CRM system, and you can start to track your interaction with them. You can find out what those people like, what information they respond to, which way they like to be communicated with best, how often you call them, what did you talk about last time you called them. So you can have all this information at your fingertips so that when you're interacting with clients, every interaction that you've had with them as a business or you personally is in there. So when you talk to someone, it's more like old friends instead of two strangers coming into contact, and it makes a huge difference. Webinars. This is a webinar that you're listening to. You can do these with video, you can do them with just audio, you can do them like I'm doing this one with some slides and a presentation. And it's another way for people to find you, consume the information that you have, get to know you a little bit, find out a little bit about your personality, your style of work, whether or not they think they trust you, because people will make a lot of decisions based on how they feel about the person that they're hearing, seeing, etc. Is it a person they can trust? That's a key element in all human interactions. So how do you implement this? There's a number of options. You can go out in the marketplace and you can find companies like HubSpot. HubSpot has a soup to nuts solution for digital marketing. It has everything. One of the challenges that HubSpot has is because it's a closed system that has everything, it makes it a little bit harder for it to change and react to changes in a market, in digital marketing, in the internet, in an arena that changes constantly. So it's a full kit, full up solution, but it's always going to be a little bit behind what's going on. The other challenge is, and we've seen some of this with our clients, is that when you get engaged with HubSpot and you start running it yourself, it sounds like a solution you can just do. You'll find that you can quickly become overwhelmed by the options and the work to keep the system up. So HubSpot has actually moved away from small businesses and has moved into bigger mid-sized businesses and the small end of enterprise businesses. Fantastic tool, but what you'll find also is at a minimum you'll probably spend about $6,000 a year if you just have their bare bones smallest option. And if you have the option that a lot of people would like, which is kind of the middle of their options actually, with a number of options to add people to your list, etc., you're going to spend $12,000 to $14,000, and they lock you into a one-year contract. So once you sign up, you've spent that money. You don't get testing for that, which I think is critical. If I want to run an ad, if I want to put information out there, it's really handy to be able to put two different versions up and see which one people respond to, and then take the one that finishes best and create two versions of it. And so you can get your conversion rates very quickly from 5% of the people that visit your site up to 30%. And that means you're getting 6 times better results. You don't get that in HubSpot until you go to their enterprise level, and now you're up $15,000, $20,000 a year. Great tool, quite expensive. WordPress, that's the W, that's WordPress's sign. There's a lot of systems built around WordPress, but there are a lot of ad hoc solutions which people say, this is a digital marketing system. You just buy this and you're good to go. And the truth of the matter is that that doesn't work. WordPress is one tool in the digital marketing ecosystem. So that environment that you build has to include a number of things above and beyond WordPress. WordPress is where you can put your blog and your authority site. It can do landing pages if you have add-ins. It can do sales pages if you have add-ins. But you really start bolting things onto it. It's like vanilla ice cream. Then you can turn around and make any flavor of ice cream out of it that you want, provided you're an ice cream maker. So bear that in mind. We take it and we do the soup to nuts solution that's customized for each person, each client. We like to begin with strategy. What are you trying to do? What are your goals? What do you offer and what problems do those offerings solve? Because we need that to build a marketing funnel, and that funnel helps build the process of creating clients. And then who are your clients? What's the marketplace? Who are you trying to reach? Because that determines then where does the information go in social media? Where does it go in terms of your website? What should it look like? How do you bring people in? Those are all keys. Then we build the basic digital marketing ecosystem, and we add on automation that you are interested in having, and we add on the measurement, and there's free measurement, which is fantastic, and then there's some very inexpensive tools which make it even easier, and those are options that are up to you. And then there's the appropriate options that you choose, whether those are the video marketing, the audio, and some other things like that, and some different automation. And then there's the development of the process and that calendar. And these are things that we help you with the process. We lay it out and say, okay, you write the blog, and then You do step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And your automation does 5 of those 6 steps, and this is how you set it up. This is how you monitor it. Because really, my goal is once you have the system in place, I want you to be able to fish, so to speak, instead of having to go like HubSpot and buy a fish every month. This is something you should be able to do, and you should be able to implement once you have that basic instruction and system in place. And then if you have questions, they're small questions about how do I tweak this? They're not big questions like, I forgot how to do this. I need to, go back and study, this tutorial for 3 hours, or have someone do it, or find out that you can't do it. So our goal is to implement a system and get you stood up and running, and have you be able to continue that forward in its existing state, and potentially add on, or come back for simple add-ons, whatever it might be. So that wraps up my description of the digital marketing world and how to do it. And as I told you at the beginning, I would make you a special offer at the end, which isn't a surprise, I'm sure, on a webinar if you've been on a webinar before. But for this, what we're doing is people who have found us through this webinar, who have seen this webinar, will create a digital marketing ecosystem for you. And this is a limited time offer that we're doing. This is probably about, well, I want to say it's about a third of what our normal price would be. And one of the reasons is we're getting some automation in place that helps us too, and we want to see if this is a price point that we can continue this at. So this is a bit of a trial for us to see how it works for us, and in turn you get a fantastic deal. And for this, we'll create the authority site, the landing page, the sales page, whether they're from scratch or we use your existing pages and sites. We'll work with you to get your social media set up on the big 5, the Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Pinterest. We can start those accounts, or we can walk you through starting them, or we can use your existing accounts and tweak them. We'll work through a digital marketing process with you so that you know what the flow is, how you do this, how you implement it, what you do. We'll help you set up your list and the tool that you pick for that. There's free tools and there's paid tools that you can use. We'll work the automation in depending on which tools you choose to work with your entire digital marketing ecosystem so it works as best as possible. If you decide on a social CRM solution, we'll help you set that up. And then the things that aren't included in this are, if you want us to host, if you want us to get your automation tools for you, and then any of the options and extras. Those things are all extra that you would need to do. You don't need to get them through us. These are all things you get from other folks, and we'll work through that with you, or we can get them for you either way. And we don't charge really for that service. It's just a matter of, it should be your choice, not ours. So, again, the information to reach us is at the bottom of the screen. Our phone number is 877-242-4812. Obviously, you found this webinar on my page, and so you can get in touch with us through the page. There's a contact us page there that you'll find all of my information. And then also on any of my blog pages, if you look down, there's basically a signature line which has my email, which is michael@thecogentcoach.com. You'll see my Skype, which is Cogent Coach. You'll see phone numbers, etc. So have a look at this. Watch it a couple times if you want. Go online, do some research. I guarantee you'll never find a better deal than this. And as I said, this is limited, to the time that, one, we can validate whether or not this is a price point that we can, support. And two, once that test is done, we'll pull this out and we'll go back to our original prices. So kind of a quick shot offer. It's something great value to you, and it helps us with our business model as well. So give us a shout. Looking forward to working with those of you who choose to go down this path with us, and really excited to see what kind of success and improved results we can do for your business, and see how much time we can capture back into your life, so that you're not working those 60, 80, 90-hour weeks, whatever they might be as an entrepreneur, but we can cut it back and you can see better results with a lot less time in a lot more targeted manner. So thank you very much for being with me. I appreciate your time. It's something I don't take for granted. I know that all of our time is valuable to us. So again, thank you very much for choosing to spend a bit of time with me. I enjoyed walking you through digital marketing and how it can help your small business, and I look forward to working with you. Have a fantastic day.